I'm Mike Doherty, and you're watching the Doherty Report on Chiptooth Gaming. What's up, players? Another day, another channel? That's right, Chiptooth Gaming has launched another channel from yours truly and also Connor Green, ya boy. We're kind of collaborating on this together to make a bigger Chiptooth network is what I like to call it. So Chiptooth Life is now a thing. Go ahead, link down below in the description down below. Go check it out. It's basically essentially what this channel is. It covers skits, it covers cooking shows, it covers all kinds of things. It covers food reviews, it covers vlogs, like life vlogs, it covers soon-to-be stand-up sketches, all kinds of things over on that channel. Basically everything that's not covered in gaming is going to be over on that channel. And right now, as of today, go over there right now. I have my makeup being done on that channel right now, and then part 2 of that will be next week. It's me and my friend Jules and Marina. We made a deal. I get to do their makeup, they get to do my makeup. So this is part 1. They do my makeup. Go check it out. It's hilarious. I had a good time. They had a good time. And if you want to see more from that channel, let me know what you want to see from that channel. It's going to be good stuff in the future. But of course, this is the Doherty Report, you big, beautiful bastards. And you came here for some gaming news, so let's jump into the news of the week. Who better to announce a piece of gaming hardware at 9 o'clock at night on a Thursday? That's right. You guessed it. Nintendo. Nintendo announced the Nintendo 2DS XL. That's right. On a weekday, a Thursday night, in the middle of the night, Nintendo announced the new Nintendo 2DS XL. Yeah, that's right. The piece of hardware will be coming out July 28th at a $150 price point. Now, this is a very strange move on Nintendo. Maybe a bad move, maybe a good move, who knows? With Nintendo, it just seems like they're just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So they're launching new handheld hardware. Why they have a new system out that's a handheld and also a console, but it's mainly a handheld, not as much as a console. So they're going to be competing with each other with their own market that they control, because Sony isn't really in the handheld market anymore. So it's just Nintendo. So Nintendo's competing with Nintendo with the Switch and the new 2DS XL. It's weird. It's a very weird, complicated Nintendo thing to do. But for those of you who are interested, again, July 28th, go pick it up for $150 if this interests you. Again, in my opinion, just a really weird thing to do from Nintendo. Why they have a handheld, essentially a handheld, out in the open, out in the wild, in their market that they've already dominating. Just let the 3DS die. The Switch is way better. But Nintendo's no stranger to success, and with Nintendo's new earnings report, Nintendo Switch is killing it right now. And this is something I completely did not predict. And actually, for those of you who remember, I actually made a bet with someone named Jonathan Trask back before the Switch launched. He said by the end of the month of the Switch's release, it will have sold 2 million consoles. I thought that was preposterous. The console, again, not knowing really all the ins and outs of the console, I thought that was ridiculous. I still think it's ridiculous that it's selling as well as it does compared to how empty it is right now. But it's selling, and it's selling a lot. Actually, their numbers are at 2.74 million units by the end of the first month. That's insane. And on top of that, really weird on top of that, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has actually sold 3.84 million units. So the game it launched with, essentially, the game everyone's buying it for, has a very high attach rate. And apparently 1.5 million of those Zelda units are actually on the Wii U. So that leaves 2.34 units sold of the Nintendo Switch version of The Legend of Zelda. That's insane. That's an insanely high attach rate. So, of course, it's everyone's Zelda machine right now. So I just want to congratulate Nintendo. And Jonathan Trask, I will follow up on my bet. I'm going to hit you up. So crazy time to be alive. Nintendo is actually relevant again. Nintendo also announced in their earnings report that they are not having a major E3 conference. They will have an appearance on the show floor. From what it looks like, it's just as big or comparable to Sony's booth, why Microsoft's kind of dwindles and gets in the corner. So what that means, that probably means they're going to do a Nintendo Direct or a Nintendo Treehouse like they have always done the last few years at E3, where they basically live stream a pre-recorded conference. So nothing unusual from Nintendo. We're used to seeing this kind of Nintendo be Nintendo just kind of play out. At this point, everyone's just kind of accepted it, and I don't know if I'm okay with that. Yet, giving them the benefit of the doubt for most of the time because they make the world's best video games sometimes. But just the way they handle their hardware should not be an exception for anybody. We should not look past how crap their hardware is sometimes and the weird things that they do. I don't think we should just be letting them off the hook because Nintendo's Nintendo. Companies have to be held accountable just like Microsoft and Sony. When Xbox came out and they did ridiculous hardware restrictions and weird hardware tweaks to where nobody wanted it, with the HDR, with the always online, just ridiculous requirements, everyone said no, and that's what put Microsoft in such a bad position this console generation and made them turn around. And Microsoft turned the ship around. They actually made a better console out of the feedback basically the market let them have. So if we're not holding Nintendo to the same standards, are we getting the best Nintendo could be? Or are we just letting them slide back on their average, mediocre hardware because their games are so good? Why can't we have both? Xbox does it, Sony does it, why can't Nintendo do it? With the end of the fiscal year means we get numbers from these companies, and it looks like Sony has sold 60 million PlayStation 4s since launch. This is on track to becoming one of the best-selling consoles of all time, even surpassing the PlayStation 2. They've sold 2.9 million PS4s in the last 3 months, and this is up from last year's 2.3. Big growth for Sony, a lot to look out for. They're still growing, they're still on the right track, and they're still the dominant leader in the market. Even though Wii U outsold them for March, that was a console hardware launch, and that usually happens when a new console launches, so it's going to be exciting to see how it plays out now that we have 3 competitors in the ring again. Call of Duty World War II has been announced and is coming out November 3rd. The game's taking the franchise back to the World War II boots on the ground combat. This is a strong deviation from where the franchise is now, very futuristic, very floaty, a lot of wall walking. You can like run across walls, jetpacks, the whole 9 yards. Now this is bringing it back. We haven't seen a World War II game in Call of Duty since World at War, which was in 2007 or 6. This is big news because I don't think we've seen a Call of Duty this boots on the ground since Modern Warfare 2 or even Modern Warfare. So I'm excited to see them go back to the well of World War II and see what they can extract from the stories, because World War II is almost an infinite amount of stories. We've seen Battlefield 1 success, which is basically Battlefield going back to World War I, which has never been done before in gaming, and made it work and made it interesting. So I'm excited to see how Call of Duty kind of competes with Battlefield on this front of old school shooter. Of course, I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, so I can't really gauge my excitement for this. I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to try it out, but in the end, I'm just excited to get back to historical shooters and get some real stories, some interesting stories from this game. More news from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite has been announced. The game is coming out September 19th. And they actually unveiled a trailer, and it is a story trailer announcing the bad guy and who's going to be in the game so far. They're still announcing characters. They're still going to be announcing characters. All I got to say is I'm freaking excited for this game, and I'm not a big fighting game guy. For those of you who want to kind of catch up on the series, go ahead on the PS4 right now. You can go back and download Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Now, this is another interesting point. They're calling it Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which means Capcom said this with Street Fighter V, they want to make it a platform. So I assume this is going to be another platform fighting game where it's not another game after it. They just keep updating it with players. There's DLC that you can buy, and the game continually evolves and changes. And unlike Street Fighter V, it actually looks like it's going to launch with a story, and that's exciting. It's very weird. It's taking a Marvel villain and a Capcom villain, and it's putting them together, and there you go, that's the line. Both sides now have to fight this thing. Very lazy, but whatever. It's a fighting game. They're weird. It's a weird trailer. It's weird seeing Chris Redfield fight with Ryu and Captain America. Odd. Strange. I'm excited though. It's going to be interesting to see how this game evolves over time, much like Street Fighter V. How it just will change with the DLC, and players will be added and characters will be added over time, because again, like Street Fighter V, they wanted it to be a platform, and I think they're wanting this to be a platform. So look for this in September. I'm excited. I'm going to go pick it up. I got no shameless plugs for you today, but we do have some questions. So these two both come from Alan Reitfeld. Alan Reitfeld asks, if I made a club sandwich with chicken strips, could I then call it a strip club? That's actually a really good name. I really like this. But you could also call it a sandwich strip, strip sandwich, something around those lines, a club jam switch. I'm awful with these names. Makes you think. Gets deep. Alan Reitfeld also asked, do you think hot chocolate ever wants to just be called beautiful chocolate? Even just once? You know, this is an interesting one, because I just think, like, hot chocolate's misunderstood, you know? Misconstrued in these days, you know? Because she just wants to be liked. She just wants to have friends. She wants to have a good time. You can't blame her for her chocolatey goodness. Everyone wants a piece of that hot chocolate, but that's not her fault. That's the way God made her, just so damn chocolatey and delicious. Misunderstood. And honestly, in this society, I think it's wrong. I think it's chocolatist. And frankly, I'm offended that you even said hot. Beautiful chocolate. You need to say beautiful chocolate, because I'm from the Bay Area and I'm offended. And if you, of course, have questions for me, go ahead and leave a comment down below, leaving a comment, or you can go ahead and hit us up on Twitter at CTGVids or on Facebook at Chiptooth Gaming. Go ahead, shoot us some questions. I want to answer them for you on air. I want to have a discussion with you, because I think it's a great time when we do. And that about wraps it up for me today, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and like the video and share it down below. Let your friends know so we can grow and get bigger and get greater than we are right now. If you liked what I had to say, and even if you didn't, and you want to stay up to date on how you can leave me mean comments and when you can leave me mean comments in the comments down below, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and help support the show and the channel. And like I said in the beginning of the show, go check out Chiptooth Life down below. And if you want to see the last Doherty Report, click right here. And if you want to see me yell at Tim Geddes, click right there. And have a fantastic day, you big beautiful bastards.